Mr. Page, we ready?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning. The Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City proceedings will begin. The board is now in session. In the absence of Chairman Albert Matriciani, Commissioner Aaron Greenfield will serve as chair. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, preliminary matters on the docket. Case number 7, My Cousin's Place, 3925-27 East Lombard Street. This matter has been postponed and rescheduled for another date and time. I'll call case number 1, 2900 O'Donnell Street, BD7, Beer, Wine, and Liquor License, an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service, requesting off-premise catering. Please come forward.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Walter Rosenberg, Martin Greenberg on behalf of the applicant. I'm joined by our individual licensee applicant, Brian McGlory.
Morning. Would you care to proffer? And
With your permission, yes.
Absolutely.
And I've handed up a series of exhibits, which I'll walk through very briefly. As Mr. Page mentioned, this is a transfer of ownership at the same location for 2900 O'Donnell Street, Looney's Pub. The current operation, Looney's, was established in 1993. They've been there for almost 30 years. They were a pioneer down on O'Donnell Square. In the file, you'll see an aerial photo showing the location there at the northwest corner of O'Donnell Square. There's also a street view image that shows the current operation. It's been very successful over the last 3 decades. They've expanded to other locations outside the city, and at this time, Looney's is going to be sold to Dominic Lascola, who operates El Buffalo across the street. He also operates Raw and Refined in Canton as well. And so the transfer is being done in connection with that sale. Mr. McGlory is going to be the individual licensee. He's also the owner of the licensed entity. The operation is proposed to remain the same, though, in the immediate term. There will be ultimately, at some future date, a change in concept. The establishment will be renovated and redone and reopened under a new name, we think. But at the moment, and for the immediate term, it's going to stay as Looney's with the same operation. You'll see a copy of their menu in the file. They operate on 2 floors of the existing building. They do offer live entertainment in the form of DJs and small bands. Their hours of operation are Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to midnight, Thursday to Sunday, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. They will require identification from all patrons under the age of 30 to purchase alcoholic beverages, and after 10 p.m. they will not allow anyone under the age of 21 to enter the establishment. Mr. McGlory has been Mr. Lascola's business partner at his existing locations for the last 4 years. And he will be, as I said, on the license here at this location. We do have a letter of support in the file as well from the Canton Community Association. So we do believe there is a public need and desire for the license transfer. It's an existing restaurant. It's been very successful in this location. Because it is an existing license, it will not have any impact on the number of and location of other licensees. It does offer a uniqueness of services. They've been nominated as the best sports bar in Baltimore. There's an excerpt of that in the file. And we don't expect them to have any negative impact on public health, safety, or general welfare, as demonstrated by the letter of support from the Canton Community Association. So for all of these reasons, we would request that the board approve the transfer of ownership at the same location.
Okay. And we do have that letter dated September 16th, 2022 from the Canton Community Association in support of this transfer. Any change with, sorry, there's this buzzing behind us.
Right.
Actually makes things a little more exciting.
It does, doesn't it?
For my mind. Any change in terms of employees and alcohol certification, anything along those lines?
We're hoping to retain the employees. Obviously that remains to be seen, but our plan is to retain the existing employees. We will have new people coming on who are alcohol certified. The current manager, the proposed manager, Brent Sale, is certified.
Okay, good. Commissioners, any questions?
None.
Mr. Cloy's going to be the manager. Is he going to be there full time?
He won't be involved in the day-to-day operations. He's involved with the El Buffalo restaurant across the street. He's the chef over there, but he is a city resident and has agreed to be on the license here.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. Okay. Well, based upon the application, the proffer from Ms. Hecker, as well as the what has been received as evidence, including the September 16, 2022 letter from the Canton Community Association, I would vote to approve this transfer of ownership with the continuation of live entertainment, outdoor table service, and off-premise catering.
Based on the application filed and proffer from the attorney, I also approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service, also requesting off-premise catering. And I failed to mention that there's also a support from the community.
Okay, based on testimony and materials provided today, and the letter of support from the Canton Community Association, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service, and also the request for off-premise catering.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to file exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, letter of support from Canton Community Association dated 9/16/22. Exhibit number 2, business packet.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Page?
Same thing happened 2 weeks ago with the contractors on the outside. Mr. Chairman, there's been a courtesy request to go out of order by Attorney Pete Previs.
Oh, if it's Mr. Previs, forget it.
Yes.
Of course.
Their schedule conflict. Mr. Previs, if you would approach. Case number 8, we will call next. And this is Old Federal Hill Liquors, 1230-32 Light Street, Class A, beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership, requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Good morning, Mr. Acting Chair, members of the board. Peter Previs on behalf of the applicants. Thank you for taking me out of order. I usually try not to do this, but I have a Prince George's County Zoom hearing at 11.
No, completely understand and appreciate the patience of everyone in the audience.
Thank you. This is an application for transfer of ownership only, staying at the same location for Federal Hill Liquors, 1230-32 Light Street. To my immediate right is Mr. Leka Rejmi, and to my far right is Mr. John Wilson. Mr. Rejmi is the owner-operator of the proposed location. He has 8 years prior experience in the liquor store business. He currently works at Top Shelf on York Road. He is alcohol awareness certified, and as I said, he has years of experience in the business.
Mr. Regmi?
Regmi.
That's, okay.
Okay. It will be the full-time operator. It's a Class A license, so it's a 6-day license. He intends that there will be 3 employees, including him. Hours of operation 10 to 10. The total purchase price for the business is $450,000. There's been a $50,000 down payment, and there will be a note for the balance from a private lender. As I said, he has full experience, and he knows the neighborhood, knows the business. Mr. Wilson was previously on the Bay Cafe license for a very short period of time, but he is acting only as the city resident licensee.
And how many employees at,
It'll be 2 in addition to Mr. Rejmi.
both will be certified?
Yes.
And Mr. Regmi, did he have any issues in his, I think you said 8 years of experience?
Never had any issues.
Never had any
Okay, I don't know
issues
if
with
it's-
selling to minors or anything else.
Okay, so, okay. All right, and any community outreach, it's Federal Hill?
Not that I'm aware of. Have you had any contact with the Federal Hill Community Association? No, we hadn't heard.
All right,
from
well,
them.
but obviously you would if
Yeah, absolutely.
necessary. Okay, Commissioners, any questions?
No question.
None?
Okay, based upon the application and the proffer from Mr. Previs, I also looked at the history of this licensee. It's got a good, or this current establishment, and doesn't seem to be a problem, which is a benefit. Based upon the proffer and the application, I approve this transfer of ownership with the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
I also, based on the information provided by the attorney and the application filed with the local board, I also approve the application to transfer ownership.
But the request of,
Oh, and how do you feel about the delivery of alcoholic beverages? You usually support them.
Only because I stopped reading.
Okay.
But In addition to that, I also approved the request for delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership and the request for delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, good luck.
No exhibits for the record.
Calling case number 9, Mr. Previs,
Yes, sir.
Linden Liquors, 1209 West North Avenue, Class A beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership.
Good morning, Mr. Acting Chairman, members of the board. Peter Previs on behalf of the applicants for 12, what is it, North Avenue? Eeks.
It's okay, 1209 West.
1209 West North Avenue. This is a request for a postponement as opposed to a withdrawal of this application. There are certain issues that have come up that may or may not be resolved, but to be prudent, I would respectfully request that we postpone this in the event that it goes through.
Okay, understood. Unless the commissioners have any opposition, I would grant the postponement.
Thank you very much.
Sure, and good luck at your.
Thank you so much for
First
taking me out of
Zoom.
time. Thank you.
That was case 9, right?
Yeah.
Case 9.
Going to go back in order as to the docket for today. Case number 2, Maria Dees, 1016 Light Street, Class D, beer and wine license, an application to transfer ownership, requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kaneski, 320 North Charles Street, representing the applicant in this case. This is an application to transfer. It's a beer and wine license, Maria Dees Carrier. It's been here for a long, long time. The individuals that are current licensees want to retire. Sophie has worked there for the last 5 or 6 months. She's familiar with the rules and regulations, liquor board. She's been fingerprinted, alcohol certified. She's going to keep everything the same as it is. If you look at the your docket, it shows, the picture shows very nicely what it is. It's a nice place. It's been here in that location. She has approximately 5 employees. She will agree that any of the employees that serve alcohol will be alcohol certified. And other than that, the operation will be the same. She's met with everybody, knows everybody in the community there, and there's been no opposition. And besides the transfer, she asked for the ability to deliver alcohol.
Okay, and can you just speak a little bit to her experience? Has it just been the 5 months?
5 or 6 months she's been there working with the people.
Oh,
That's
as
correct.
a transition?
Yeah, because they had left, and she had actually taken over running the business. They went back to Greece for a while, didn't they? Usually they go in August for the high holidays, as they say, but they were there for longer than that.
Okay, understood. And she's met with and sounds like she's embedded in the community.
She knows everybody that's there, and they're very familiar with her.
Okay, it's an important community. Okay, Commissioners, any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Based upon the application before us, the proffer from Mr. Kadinsky, I would approve this application to transfer ownership with the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
I also approve the application to transfer ownership requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. I base that on the application filed to the liquor board and the proffer given by the attorney here today.
Yeah. Based on testimony and materials provided today, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership and request delivery of alcoholic beverages.
No exhibits
Good
for the
luck.
record.
Thank you.
1001-03 North Charles Street, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I'm Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicant, George Sarkis. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I'd just like to bring it up since we're all here. I filed a request to reopen this establishment back on July 18th. It was docketed for September 8th, but we asked that it be pulled because the use and occupancy permit hadn't been finalized yet to reopen. I mean, I could come back in 2 weeks on this request to reopen. I did pay the $100 filing fee, but I was wondering if there was any reason why that couldn't be.
Mr. Chairman, before us today is a request to transfer ownership, not a request to reopen.
Yeah, so I don't know that we can accept that.
Okay.
I understand for the sake of efficiency, it would make a
Right.
lot of sense, but I do think a request to reopen probably is material enough that we would have to at least publish it or post it. Is that right, Mr. Page?
Doesn't require posting, but certainly a
Very
public.
well.
Okay, but enough public notice.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
So
'cause
yeah,
before-
we'll hit that down the road.
Yeah, but I appreciate your effort.
Just diligence.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you. All right, this will be pretty brief. You should have a memorandum of understanding and/or a letter of support from the Mount Vernon Belvedere Association regarding this transfer request. To my right, this, as you know, this is the old Grand Central nightclub. Really not going to operate as a nightclub in its next iteration, but a bar, a restaurant with live entertainment, full kitchen, outdoor dining, I believe, and yeah, no outdoor tables. There's no space for outdoor tables here anyway. Mr. Sarkis, this is his first venture as a licensee. He doesn't have extensive experience in the management of a restaurant. He is working closely with the landlords in this matter, they're very hands-on and very close by, in order to open this establishment on a limited basis with limited hours, while, quite frankly, they further develop the concept, their final landing spot of a concept. Mr. Sarkis is planning to be alcohol management certified, and the few servers that will be employed during these limited hours will also be all alcohol management certified. The applicant and the landlord, like I said, entered into an MOU. It appears that Mount Vernon Belvedere Association is excited to have another dining option reopening in the neighborhood, and they were very kind as far as their support. And trying to think if there's anything else. So obviously I see the public need and desire here. Really no disruption to the public peace and safety in the community. I ask that you would approve this transfer request. Thank you.
And just to get on the record, your client does agree to the terms of this MOU.
100%, and we'll incorporate them as license restrictions.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about, because the hours of operation are 6 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Yes, that's the maximum.
Yeah, that's the
permitted.
maximum. I get that. But talk to me a little bit about, Mr. Sarkis doesn't have a tremendous amount of experience, which we don't hold against anyone.
Right.
But how he intends to sort of slowly evolve the concept into
the full-
if it's not a nightclub, what is it?
Well, the very first thing is, and this is in all transparency, the license needs to be used, and that's why we're transferring this license, or trying to transfer it today. Mr. Sarkis is interviewing managers with real on-the-street experience in alcohol management in Baltimore City. And right now it's still TBD. There's a lot of development going on over there, and as far as what it will end up being, I don't know. But I do know from the property owners that it will not be a nightclub.
And my understanding in reading this and looking at the MOU is that it's a testament to your client, Mr. Ockheimer in particular, and the community for coming together and developing an MOU, which I think suggests to me that there will be ongoing communication to make sure that everything's kind of...
Absolutely, it's essential.
Okay.
Yep.
Commissioners, any questions?
None.
No questions.
Okay. Then, based upon the application, the proffer from Mr. Fogelman, I would vote to approve this transfer of ownership with continuation of live entertainment, subject to the terms of the memorandum of understanding to the extent they're enforceable by law.
I also, based on the application filed and the proffer given by Mr. Fogelman, approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Okay, based on testimony and materials provided today, along with the MOU, I vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Chairman.
Exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, MOU between applicant and Mount Vernon Belvedere Association dated 9/20/22.
Waverly Tavern, 3801 Old York Road, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership.
For the record, Melvin J. Kaninsky, 320 North Charles Street. This is actually, these applicants were approved by the board. They had a fire in the establishment, and more than the 360 days was going to expire. So if you would look at the application, it's exactly the same as the other one, except they're the new MTG, whatever it is, corporation. They had previously signed a memorandum of understanding with the Waverly Improvement Association. I think you may have it or you may not. Were you given it?
Yeah.
They will agree to be bound by the same terms and conditions that they agreed to before. I think the councilman's representative, whose name I really like, David Pontius, I think that's a nice name. He had thought they were new owners, but they're the same applicants. And he wanted to, and we agreed that we would, by email, that he would then talk with them. But the memorandum of understanding, as is indicated before, it was approved by the board. Their hours of operation are limited from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. They will not serve alcohol practice people who are drunk or on infants. So alcohol, they'll have security, and all their employees would be who would deliver an alcohol be approved by alcohol awareness, and all the other have the lighting, security, and to meet with the Waverly Improvement Association as they go along.
Okay. Yeah, no, this is an application we've seen before, and one that we've approved previously. And I understand that your clients agree to the terms of the MOU, which we have before us. Commissioners, any questions?
No question.
None.
Okay, based upon the application and the proffer from Mr. Kadinsky, I would vote to approve the transfer of ownership subject to the terms of the memorandum of understanding between the Waverly Improvement Association and the licensees before us, to the extent they're enforceable by law.
Based on the application filed and proffer given by the attorney and the agreed upon MOU, I approve the application to transfer ownership.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today with the MOU, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership.
Good luck.
Michael Exhibits, Board Exhibit Number 1, MOU between applicants and Waverly Improvement Association.
Main Street Bar and Liquors, 3724 Eastern Avenue, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages. Please come forward.
For the record, again, Melvin J. Kaninsky, 320 North Charles Street. And I think it goes without saying that, the board is familiar with this due to the very contentious prior licensee during renewal, and afterwards they had some violations when the new party decided to come in under management, and for the last 5 months they've been managing the business, no problems, and to their credit, not to any of mine, but to theirs, they have a MOU with the Highlandtown Community Association, and I think I see that you're looking at it, asked that to be made an exhibit. They agree to be subject to the terms and conditions of that memorandum of understanding, and they're bound by the times. They have hours of operation that are shortened with regard to the week and so forth. And they're limiting the time when they can have live entertainment on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and so forth. And they already are approved for live entertainment with the UNO.
So, Mr. Kadinsky, I don't want to presume anything, but I assume it's safe to say that you've instructed this applicant about the terrible history associated.
And he was here, and he heard what the board said to him.
I want it to be reflected again.
Okay.
That this is has been a traditionally problem establishment, and I am pleased that the Highlandtown Community Association and you entered into a memorandum of understanding. And again, I thank Matt Ockheimer and the team, as well as, the community folks for all coming together. But yes, we expect to see a different practice.
And it's been that way for the last several months, so I think that's a credit to his operation.
Good. Okay, and any other changes associated with the establishment, or is it?
It's the security part and the lighting and all that, that's all going to stay the same. He agrees with the security to link into, was it City Watch, City Stat, whatever it's called, but, other than that, no.
Okay, good. Commissioners, any questions?
None.
I see that with the MOU, he's the continuation of live entertainment, but I see one of the bullets that says that if it's a special event, he's got to go discuss that with the community association.
Other than the dates that are indicated, yeah, if there was something special other than the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, say the St. Patrick's Day, let's use that for the sake of argument, they were going to have a St. Patrick's event that's not on that date, they would ask them, can we do that? Or there was something, New Year's Eve or something like that, yes, and I think they've had a pretty good relationship with Mr. Sweeney at the Highlandtown Community Association.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, nothing further. Okay, based upon the application, the proffer for Mr. Kadensky, I would vote to approve this transfer of ownership with continuation of live entertainment, with delivery of alcoholic beverages, subject to the terms of the memorandum of understanding between New MSB Group, LLC, and the Highlandtown Community Association dated September 2022, to the extent this MOU is enforceable by law.
Based on the application filed and the proffer given by the attorney and the agreed upon MOU, I also approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today with the MOU, I approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and the request for delivery of alcoholic beverages.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Nightfall exhibits. Board Exhibit 1, MOU between applicants and Highlandtown Community Association dated 9/2022.
Rosen's Liquor, 5411 York Road, Class A, beer, wine, and liquor license, an application to transfer ownership. Please come forward.
Good morning, board members. Bruce Kurlander on behalf of the applicants. I have Tesfu Kahidi here and Paul Obang there. They are seeking to become the licensees of Rosen's Liquor at 5411 York Road in Baltimore. It's Class A license. I do not know whether you have in your file an agreement that they entered with the, okay.
Yeah, we do. We just received it. Would you like to comment on it?
Well, Mr. Tahiti, who is going to be the manager and is going to be there full-time, he wants to work with the community, and the community expressed some concerns about the that they want the appearance of the liquor store to be in a certain way, and they want to make sure that people don't congregate outside of the liquor store. And Mr. Kahidi has agreed, and he will work with the community, and he will honor the agreement that he and Mr. Obang have signed here. And because they have signed this agreement, the Mid-Govans Community Association and the York Road Partnership have basically approved they find the transfer acceptable.
Great. Can you comment a little bit about Mr. Kahidi's background?
Well, Mr. Kahidi has, to my knowledge, has never actually operated a liquor store before, but he has alcohol certification. He knows that he is not to sell to anyone who is under 21 years of age. He can, I guess, talk to you about what types of endeavors he's been working on.
Well, would it make it easier for you? I just, part of our analysis is to approve the applicant based on certain factors. So
okay.
I'm just trying to, again, as I said in a previous hearing, we don't hold against anyone the fact that they don't have experience, but I just want to understand what his actual experience has been. Mr. Court Reporter, can we swear in the witness?
Yes, sir. Could you please raise your right hand? Are you both going to testify? You both raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give, the statements made and responses given will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Can you say yes? Thank you.
Mr. Kahidi, tell me a little bit about your professional background.
I used to work in the wine factory in back home. I was in supervisor there.
Okay.
And I graduated also marketing management. I work in different company like a sales manager in back home, and I have a good experience about sales and market.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you want to?
I would just like to say, so you are familiar with working with businesses?
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
have you observed what has been? Have you observed the current owner at the store?
Yes.
And do you feel that you would be able to operate the store at least as well as the current owner?
Yes, positive 100%. I can handle it.
Yeah, and I will note that the history of this licensee has been very good. So we haven't. This has not been a problem establishment, and we hope that it doesn't become one. I think the only thing I might ask is, will you be there full time?
Yes, I will. I will work full time.
And then I guess another question: what are your hours?
10, 12 hours. I will be ready to work full time.
And you coming back and forth from Silver Spring won't be an issue?
No, I'm gonna move close by. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
As he testified, he will be there the hours that the store is open. He is alcohol certified. He also intends to employ a couple more people.
Yes, I will hire 2 employees.
Oh, good.
Yeah, part time and full time, but I work full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while Mr. Obang will not be a manager of the store, he is a Baltimore City resident and has been for 10 years.
Great. Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
No question.
No.
Great. Okay. Well, then, based upon the application before us, the proffer and the testimony, I would approve this application to transfer ownership, subject to the terms of the agreement between this location and the Mid-Govans Community Association and the York Road Partnership, to the extent that this MOU agreement is enforceable by law.
Based on the application filed and the testimony given by the owner and the proffer given by the attorney, and the agreement with the MOU, I also approve the application to transfer ownership.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today, subject to the MOU, I also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership.
Because it was for the record. Board Exhibit 1, MOU between applicants and Mid-Govan Community Association and York Road Partnership.
Have a nice day.
Commissioners, we now move to the portion of the docket where they're requesting either 180 days hardship extension or transfer hardship extension not to exceed 90 days. Case number 10, John Kemp, 916 West 36th Street. This is a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Request for hardship extension under Article 12-2202. Please come forward.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicant and contract purchaser, John Kemp.
Okay.
This license most recently was used as Asian Taste Restaurant at 916 West 36th Street. The license is owned by Two Farms Incorporated, which is affiliated with Royal Farms. And John Kemp is an employee of Royal Farms. They are looking for a new tenant, and they appreciated the convenience of being a contract purchaser so that they can easily transfer the license to the new tenants who are still to be determined. So we would ask under the provisions of 12-2202 for a 180-day hardship extension.
So we do have your letter of September 6th, and you're asking a 180-day request to help market the license.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions, Commissioners?
Just John Kemp, he's the CEO of Royal Farms, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, name dropper. Okay. Based upon the September 6th letter and the proffer from Mr. Fogelman, I would approve this request for a 180-day hardship.
Based on the application filed and the letter request by Mr. Fogelman on September 6, 2022, I also approve the application for a hardship extension for 180 days.
Yes, based on testimony and materials provided today, and also the letter for Mr. Fogelman, I vote to approve the request for hardship extension of 180 days.
Thank you.
No exhibits for the record.
Yeah, the next. Okay.
3800 East Lombard Street, also known as 3872 East Lombard Street, Class A, beer, wine, and liquor license. Request for a transfer hardship under provisions of Article 12-1705B, requesting 90 days. Addition not to exceed 270 days.
Thank you. Good morning. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicant, Chris Chetry. Mr. Chetry, you may remember we had a hearing about 180 days ago that was pretty contentious, involving a liquor store at the Highland Village Shopping Center on East Lombard Street. Mr. Chetry has faced some delays with contractors and with inspections. He's also still, this matter is still under judicial review. There was a petition for judicial review filed of the board's decision for the transfer, and my understanding is that no brief was ever filed in the matter. So that hopefully is going to work its way through the system and be discharged. But for those reasons, I would ask for a 12-1705B 90-day transfer hardship extension.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
No questions.
None?
Okay, based upon the letter of August 30th, the proffer from Mr. Kadinsky, I would grant this hardship extension for 90 days.
Based on the proffer given by the attorney, Mr. Fogelman, and the letter filed August 30, 2022, I also approve the application to transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Yes, based on testimony and materials and the letter provided today, I also vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Thank you.
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you.
Modern Italian Kitchen and Parlor, 2127 East Pratt Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. A request for transfer hardship under Article 12-1705, small b, requesting 90 days, not to exceed 270 days.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Linda Carter, Carter Law LLC, 11720 Beltsville Drive, Suite 100, Beltsville, Maryland, and I'm pleased to be back before you this morning. And if this case were next week, we probably wouldn't have to be here. We are that close. If I could, we did. I guess you already have them because we did email you the exhibits, but I have hard copies if you didn't have them. We already have a health and fire, both of which are in exhibits 3 and 4. We have photographs to show you that the construction is 99.9% complete. Our tables are in. Our chairs are in a container somewhere. Yes, somewhere. In New Jersey. At least we know the state. Target opening date is October 25th, but pursuant to Board Rule 2.15 and IB Section 12-1705, we would respectfully request 90 days, just in case.
Yeah, no, understood. Appreciate it. Commissioners, any questions?
No questions.
None.
No questions. Okay. Based upon Ms. Carter's letter of August 17th and her proffer today, I would grant this transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
I also will approve the hardship extension request. Is that a hardship extension for them? Wait a minute.
Transfer hardship.
Okay. I also approve the request for transfer based on the information received in the packet and the proffer by the attorney. I approve the extension. Sorry, man, I can get the rest of that without.
Yes.
We got it.
Based on the testimony, materials, and the letter provided today, I also vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
No exhibits for the record. I'm sorry. There's exhibit for the record.
Thank you so much. And I have to tell you, your staff has been phenomenal to work with, both pre, during, and post-COVID. It's amazing, so thank you.
We appreciate that, and they are working under some tough conditions
Absolutely.
in a number of ways, so we really appreciate them.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I'd call exhibit for the record. Board Exhibit Number 1, presentation packet.
Wabash Liquors, 3741 Wabash Avenue, Class A, beer, wine, and liquor license. A request for a transfer hardship under Article 12-1705, small b, request an additional time to complete the transfer, 90 days, not to exceed 270 days. Please come forward.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 North Charles Street. And this is similar to the other ones. They're probably 95% finished. There are some issues with one or two of the city agencies and with one of the controller's office, but we feel that we can finish it very shortly, but in an abundance of caution, they would request the additional 90 days to finish everything up.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, based upon Mr. Kadensky's August 24th letter and his proffer, and the need for more time for permits and inspections to take its course, I grant the transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Based on the letter received from the attorney on August 24th, 2022, I also approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Yes, based on the testimony, materials, and the letter provided today, I also vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
No exhibits for the record.
Brooklyn Liquors, 3525-27 South Hanover Street, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license. This is a request for transfer hardship extension under Article 12-1705, small b. Request an additional time to complete the transfer, 90 days, not to exceed 270 days.
Once again, for the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 North Charles Street, representing the applicant here. This is a similar problem to the other one. We've got most everything finished. We're having a tough time with the fire department. I just can't get any real semblance of why they don't approve the file capacity for the permit's been there, and we're getting a real runaround on that. I'm going to try to see whether we can maybe get some higher authority to take a look at this, because this place has been there for quite some time, and it's been no changes. But I think by giving the 90 days, we'll be able to solve that problem.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
None.
No questions.
Okay, based upon Mr. Kadensky's letter of August 24th, your proffer today that there's a need for more time to get inspections and permits, I would grant the transfer hardship extension of 90 days. I would note that in our search, the business is not in good standing, so there's probably some report that needs to be.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things we're going to follow up on. I said, well, now we've been stalemated with the fire department. I said, I went there. They wouldn't talk to me. I said, we don't talk to attorneys. I said, well, good. So I don't know what that means. I mean, I guess if we see you at the Royal Farm store or somewhere, I can't talk to you. I got to get my chicken on the other side.
Commissioners?
Based on the August 24 letter received from the attorney and profit given, I also approve the hardship extension of 90 days.
Yeah, before I vote, Counselor, my suggestion would be to call the council person in that district and try to get her to talk to the fire marshal about that. But based on testimony materials provided today and the letter, I also vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
No exhibits for the record.
HM Fayette Liberty LLC, 909 North Charles Street, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. This is a request for transfer hardship under Article 12-1705, small b. Request an additional time to complete the transfer, 90 days, not to exceed 270 days. Please come forward.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good to be here with you this morning. Jason Weintraub, Gordon Feinblatt, 1001 Fleet Street, on behalf of the applicant. May I proffer?
Yes, please.
Great. So you should have a letter in your file dated August 23rd. The applicant is performing substantial renovations to the space. The work is impacted by the supply chain. We would ask for an additional 90 days, not to exceed 270, under 12-1705.
Great. Commissioners, any questions?
No questions.
No.
Okay, based upon the letter, I have a letter of August 31st, but I trust that it's August 23rd. Maybe there's a subsequent letter.
I think there's a subsequent letter sent to Mr. Blendy.
Okay, perfect. So based upon the letters, the correspondence, I would grant this transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Based on the proffer given by the attorney and the August 31st in my file letter received requesting same, I also approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Yes, based on the testimony, materials, and letter provided today, I also vote to approve the request for transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Leon's of Baltimore, 870 Park Avenue, Class BD7, beer, wine, and liquor license. This is a request for transfer hardship extension under Article 12-1705, small b. Request an additional time to complete the transfer, 90 days, not to exceed 270 days.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Here we are, second to last case, saying good morning again. I appreciate this board's speed, I do. You work thoroughly and you don't waste a lot of time. This, you may not remember, this is Leon's at 870 Park Avenue. It's a continuing operation. The applicants transferred it to themselves, but applicant Singer, the company that the name, that the license is in, was an acronym for him and his ex-wife. And so he decided he wanted to start with a fresh company. He too has faced permitting delays and inspection delays. And I know, Commissioner Jones, you know how this works. The inspectors come out, they often will fail you for something, and then you have to get a contractor to fix that something, and then you have to get the inspector back out. And then when you multiply that by mechanical, electrical, plumbing, health, and fire, it's a substantial amount of time. I truly am going to ask the legislature to perhaps entertain some law changes that would reflect the reality of our current situation with respect to these delays. Something like you can get an additional 180 days, but you have to show a higher bar of good cause or something like that. I just think it's something that needs to be done post-COVID, because the bottom line is with these BD7s, I mean, it doesn't matter for the restaurant licenses, but for BD7s, it discourages you from actually renovating the bar. It discourages you from actually making a place nicer. And so, but whereas with a B, you can sit there and work on it for 3 years and make it into a palace without these time constraints. So, it's something personally that I want to see change. So, sorry about the editorial. Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions?
No
questions.
Okay, so based upon your letter of August 11th and your proffer, Mr. Fogelman, I would grant the transfer hardship extension of 90 days because of the permitting delays.
Thank you.
Based on the August 11th, 2022 letter and your proffer, Mr. Fogelman, I also approve the transfer extension of 90 days.
Yes, based on the testimony and letter provided today, I also vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Thank you.
No exhibits for the record.
Birdland Sports Bar and Grill, 6317-19 Bel Air Road, Class B, beer, wine, and liquor license. This is a request for transfer hardship extension under Article 12-1705, small b. Request an additional time to complete the transfer, 90 days, not to exceed 270 days.
Thank you very much, Stephen W. Fogel, on behalf of applicants. The exact same reasons exist for this request: permits and inspection delays. Like I say, if you own an old bar, it's going to fail. It's going to fail inspections, and then you've just got to get the work done. So we would ask for 90 more days.
Commissioners, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, based upon your letter, Mr. Fogelman, of August 18th and your proffer about delays related to inspections and permitting, I would grant this transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Thank you.
Based on your letter of August the 18th in your proffer, I also I also approve the request for transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
Yes, based on testimony, materials, and the letter provided today, I also vote to approve the request for a transfer hardship extension of 90 days.
No exhibits for the record.
Thank you all. I also want to echo what Ms. Carter said. Staff is just fantastic. It's been a wild ride the last 3 years, but I'm glad you guys were here to manage it. Thank you so much.
Does that conclude our docket, Mr. Page?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. The board is in recess until 10:30 a.m. Thursday, October the 6th, 2022. We are adjourned.
I'll take these two with me.